Let me see. If y'all can see me and hear me, put in the chat box where you are logging in from. If you can see me and hear me, put it in the chat box where you're logging in from. Let's see if this one works this time. If it doesn't work, we're going to have to try this again tomorrow. Nicole Green, I'm here for it all. Hey, girl, where are you checking in from? Hey, Jenny. New Jersey, LA. Cool, cool, cool. This is my first time doing like a live this late, so I don't really know how many people are going to hop on. I wanted to do it earlier, but I had strategy sessions today. Thank you, Modestine. Where are you checking in from? So as you come in, let me know where you're checking in from. Winter Haven. I probably should send out an email with the new link because it's a different link now. Newport, VA. All right, cool, cool, cool. So I wanted to hop on tonight because I wanted to share something. I wanted to do it after Black Friday and Cyber Monday was over with because I feel like a lot of people don't talk about this. Where's NZ? What's that? I feel like a lot of people don't talk about how to get sales after the fact. So I wanted to come here and like do a quick little pop-in live with 5 tips on how to get sales after Black Friday and Cyber Monday is over with. So I know it's yet late, but I really wanted to do this today. So I had to still do it. But what is NZ? Let me look that up. What is NZ? Oh, New Zealand. Oh, that makes sense. I was over here trying to think of states. All right. So how many people in here have an actual business that ran a Black Friday sale or a Cyber Monday sale? Let me know in the chat box if you ran a Cyber Monday or a Black Friday sale in the chat box. I want to just drop these 5 tips real quick and then hop out of here because I'm hungry and I got to eat. But I didn't want this day to finish without me going live. Chelsea's from Florida. I'm from Miami. Yay. So how many people actually have Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales? Josephine says she had one. Chelsea says she haven't sold a thing yet. So you had a sale, Chelsea, and you didn't sell anything? Or you mean you haven't opened up business yet, period? Maria said she did nails, teeth whitening business. Suzette said I missed out. That's why I need the tips. All right, cool, cool, cool. All right, so basically tonight, I'm going to share 5 different tips on how you can get sales after Black Friday. So this is beneficial for you if you already had some sales come in from Black Friday, but you really want to still like use that momentum and not lose that momentum after Black Friday. It's also going to be helpful for you if you didn't get any sales on Black Friday. We're going to talk about some of the things that you can do after Black Friday because some of the tips that I share today, they could have been applied before Black Friday, but I really wanted to talk about them afterwards to help you continue to grow your business even after Black Friday and Cyber Monday was over with. Chelsea said, I haven't opened a business yet. Modestine says, don't have a business, but I'm keen to learn. Josephine said, I definitely did, and it went well, learned a lot. I did. I'm starting a swimwear line. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So I'm glad that y'all are active because it's a little bit of us in here today, but we are about to do what it do, and everybody else will catch the replay when they wake up. So first things, hi mom. So first thing first, I want to start off with the first tip, right? So it's important for us to acknowledge that although Black Friday and Cyber Monday are these major shopping holidays, it still doesn't defeat that our customers want our products all year round, right? So it's important for us to not ignore them once Black Friday and Cyber Monday is over with. Not only that, but you have December coming around, which is still a part of the holiday season because you have all of these holidays, whether it's Christmas, Boxing Day, different things like that, that you can definitely use to your advantage, right? So the first tip that I'm going to share is that you want to nurture your audience with email and text message campaigns, right? So basically, if you had any type of pop up on your website that was collecting emails or collecting text messages when people visited your site over the course of the weekend or even over the course of the past year, you need to use those emails and text messages to your advantage so that way you can then nurture them. So, what I mean by nurture them is you want to share different pieces of content with them via email and via text about your brand and your brand story so that they can build a connection with your brand. Once they build that connection, that is you doing that nurturing process, and then you can sell to them, right? To get them to actually purchase with you. So whether that purchase comes the end of December or if that comes January or even February, that's better than you not getting that sale at all, right? So it's important for us to nurture the people who are on our list or who joined our list over the course of the weekend. Because it is statistically proven that it takes people at least 7 times to interact with a business or a brand for them to actually want to purchase from you. There were probably a lot of watchers that came to your website during Black Friday and Cyber Monday and didn't purchase a thing, right? They browsed around, they joined your email list, they signed up for your text list. Maybe they didn't do either or, but they came and they browsed around. And so it's important for you to go ahead and take advantage of the people who did join your email list, who did join your text list. And even if they joined before Black Friday and Cyber Monday, take advantage of that and still nurture them. Take the time to introduce or reintroduce your brand to them. And so, in order to do that, you need to make sure that you have a specific brand story mapped out, right? Because you can't create a nurture series via email or text message trying to tell people about your brand if you don't even know what your brand story is. So before you do that, make sure that you have your brand story down pat. You need to know what problem you solve and how you uniquely solve that problem for a particular audience, and then bundle it up with your story. So, for example, if you have a skincare brand and maybe you suffered with different skincare issues yourself, and that's why you created that brand, tell people that when you're nurturing them through your text message and through your email, right? So think about that as you build your story. Josephine said, I'm so glad I saw this because I was wondering how to keep going. Yay, I'm glad that I read your mind. And then for tip number 2, so I told y'all, I hope y'all are taking notes, right? Because I'm going to go through this kind of fast. I don't want to be here too long today. I want it to be a concise video so that way you can watch the replay over and over, and then you can share it with others to watch tomorrow as well. But in addition to nurturing via email and text message, tip number 2 is one that is to me a little obvious, but to you maybe not so much. And that is to run retargeting ads and to also set up an abandoned cart email series. And so it may seem crazy that you're retargeting now that the Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend is over with, but it's not crazy at all, right? And so one of the most successful sales that any of my clients had ever had since I started this business actually came post Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And what we did was we set up a retargeting email and ad campaign to run to those people that added to cart but didn't fulfill their checkout. And we ran that campaign for the remainder of the week. So it was Cyber Monday. Once Cyber Monday was over with, we ran that campaign for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday and Saturday. And she made some big bucks. She actually made more money than she made Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend, period. And I think what contributed to that was because a lot of businesses, they focus and they put all of their attention to Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So sometimes customers feel like they're drained, right? They get all of these emails, all these text messages telling them to buy. And so they're drained. So they never actually got a chance to purchase everything that they wanted or purchase at all. So when you actually set up your business to come afterwards and say, hey, you missed this, but I have a special for you still, right? And you send them that, not only do they feel seen and heard, but they feel appreciated because you decided to still extend some type of VIP discount to them. So if you did 40% off for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, maybe you only give them 30% or 25% off. but that is still something, right? And so for the particular client that I'm speaking about, I believe we did like free shipping plus like 10% less of whatever we gave the other people for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. But honestly, it outperformed her Black Friday and Cyber Monday. She made, I think it was 5 times as much during that retargeting week than she did for the span of those 3 days, which is insane because it was a ton of money, right? And so Josephine said, I set up an abandoned cart email with a 10% off discounts with those carts. And so Josephine, when I say like an abandoned cart email, I'm not talking about just one email. I'm speaking about an entire series. So your abandoned cart email series needs to contain 3 to 4 emails within that series. And each of them needs to get progressively more aggressive as it goes on. So maybe the first one is a tap on the shoulder, like, hey, you forgot something. The second one can be like a tap on the shoulder with an added discount, which may be like 5% or something like that, or 10%. And then the third one is more aggressive. It tells people that, hey, your cart is about to expire, or this deal is about to slip away. Make sure you check out within the next 10 minutes or so. And to help you, I'm going to give you an extra discount. So I'm going to give you like 20% off or something like that. So you want it to get progressively more aggressive. Okay. And so that was tip number 1 and 2. And so before I get into tip number 3, what questions do you guys have about nurturing via email and text message? And what questions do you have about retargeting via ads and email? Put it in the chat box. And if you've done tip 1 or 2, put it in the chat box as well. And I hope that helped, Josephine. I hope that helped. And Chelsea, good for you. Shout out to you, girl. Shout out to you. Can't wait to hear about your actual launch. Can't wait to hear about your actual launch. All right. So now let's get into step number 3. And if you have any questions as I'm going through any of these, put it in the chat box so that I can answer them. So the reason I did this as a live instead of a video, because I could have recorded a video, I wanted to make sure I addressed any questions that you guys had so that I can help in any way possible. So Josephine said, I guess my question is, how do I do an email campaign continuously like that? It helped tons. This is great. So you want to utilize an email marketing platform that has automation built into it. The ones that I recommend is Klaviyo and drip.com. You can also use, there's a third one that's integrated into Shopify, but I believe they're going away soon. So Klaviyo and drip.com. The Klaviyo link is actually in my description. So just scroll underneath this video, scroll a little bit, and you'll see where it says my favorite tools. Click that link, and that's the Klaviyo link. But you can set up automations there. Now, if you have questions about how to set up those automations or what type of content to put in those automations, because there's different type of automations you can set up. If you have questions about that, then you can always book a strategy session with me and we can talk about like what type of content to put in those emails and things like that. But yes, Esther said we weren't aggressive as we should have been. Okay. And then Suzette said, what's the best app to create text? So I use a combination of things because I know how automation works. So I use a combination of Zapier and a third-party kind of back system to send out my text messages. However, an easier alternative would be to use Klaviyo. It actually has built-in SMS in it. So you can send your text messages and your emails from one platform. So that link is actually in my description box. Just scroll and then click that link and sign up. I believe my link gives you like a free like 2 or a month trial or something like that. So check out that link and then sign up for that. And then all you have to do is sync Klaviyo with your Shopify account or whatever platform you use. Hopefully it is Shopify. And then it should sync for you. You just have to set everything up. Esther said, is there a threshold we should be mindful of when targeting people? So do you mean like a day threshold? Do you mean like a day threshold? Let me know. Josephine said, I have Shopify. Got it. Thank you. You're welcome. Nicole said, I need launch pre-launch strategies. So Nicole, you can check out my strategy sessions. The link is in the description box. It's the first link. You can book a strategy session and book the one that says brand foundation. In the brand foundation session, I actually talk about brand foundational things as well as prepping yourself for launch. Okay. So I'm going to answer one more question and then I'm going to get into tip number 3. So Esther said, how often do I need to send emails? So basically you're saying when retargeting people, how often do you want to send emails? When it comes to abandoned cart emails, I usually send 3 or 4. And that is a form of retargeting in the email perspective. When it comes to retargeting ads, I tend to follow the same rule. And then in your ad, you can also set, if you're setting up your ad correctly using Facebook Ads Manager, you can set the amount of times that you want to limit people from seeing it. So basically, you can set a limit of, okay, every person should only see this ad up to 3 times. To kind of prevent ad exhaustion, you can set that up on the back end of your Ads Manager. But if you're talking about emails, the way to retarget email style is basically through abandoned carts, and I recommend 3 or 4 emails. I have 4 set up for my businesses just because I like to take it all the way there, but you could do 3 if you want to as well, just in case you run out of content for the 4th one. Okay. And so Nicole, like I said, check out the strategy sessions by clicking the link in my description box. And let's get on to tip number 3. So I am sharing tips on how to get sales now that Black Friday and Cyber Monday is over with. How do you continue with the momentum you have, or how do you bounce back from the momentum that you didn't have? Okay. So for tip number 3, and I wrote them down so I didn't forget. So for tip number 3, you want to make sure that you put the people that actually purchased with you on a special list and then invite them back to shop. Okay. So what I mean by a special list is this is also for email or text message. If someone has purchased with you in the past, they need to be treated like a VIP, especially if they spent over a certain amount. So what I try to tell my clients is, let's say your average order value is, I don't know, $50, and you have someone who spent $150. That means that that person has spent 3 times as much as your average order value. And so they're probably a VIP for your particular business, right? Now, obviously, the average order value is going to vary drastically based on what it is you sell and your price points. So for someone who sells something like maybe hair, right, and they sell bundles, their average order price may be $200 versus someone who's selling smaller skincare necessities whose average price may be $30, or average order, order amount may be $30, right? There's going to be a drastic difference between the two. So that's why I say, look at your average order amount. And then if someone has spent 3 times as much as your average order amount, they are a true VIP. And then you also want to acknowledge all the people who have purchased with you, period, in the past, because you want to treat them like such, right? So for those people who purchased with you in the past, and for those people who spent a certain amount of money with you, you want to make sure that you put them on a special list so that way you can share VIP sales with them and secret sales, especially if these people made a purchase or a big purchase during Black Friday and Cyber Monday weekend. You can probably get them to make another big purchase if you run a secret sale. Now, obviously, you don't want to run a secret sale like, right after they bought $500 worth of product yesterday, like run a secret sale to them today. No, that wouldn't make sense. So that's why I say put them on the list, keep them on the list, and then you can pop up next month close to Christmas and say, hey, any last minute gifts you need to get? Well, here's a secret sale that I'm having for you. Or even pop up New Year's or for Valentine's Day, or any time sporadically that you want to pop up and give them a secret sale. You can very much do that as long as you keep those people in your bubble, right? So the mistake that I see a lot of business owners make is they let people go, like people who purchased with them already, they don't track them at all, right? And so if you're using a platform like Shopify, they're tracking these customers for you. So you need to do the extra legwork to make sure that you have an email marketing platform or a text platform that's connected to Shopify that's pulling those people for you and putting them on a particular list. That way you can reach out to them in the future with your content, with your promotional emails and things like that, right? And so that's number 3. So far we talked about tip number 1 is to nurture with email and SMS campaigns, telling them your brand story and connecting with them so then you can go for the sale later on for the people who maybe didn't purchase with you. And for the people who didn't purchase with you, again, you can also do retargeting ads as well as abandoned cart email campaigns. And then for the people who have purchased with you, you want to put them on special lists so that way you can actually run different secret sales and VIP sales to those people in the future, right? So that way you can guarantee, well, semi-guarantee that money, because it's easier to sell to someone who purchased with you before than it is to a new person, right? Chelsea said, makes sense. Is this live going to stay up? Yes, it is. So this live is going to stay up. The replay, I think, processes almost immediately. Josephine, thank you. Okay. And so let's go on to tip number 4. All right. So I mentioned this a little bit when I talked about nurturing your audience with email and SMS campaigns. But now I want to tap into social media in general, right? So when it comes to social media, you want to make sure that you are building a connection with your audience. So the first thing that you need to know is who is in your audience. So like I said before, you need to know the problem you solve, how you uniquely solve it. And then once you know that, it's important for you to know who has the problem and build out that person. Think about their lifestyle. Think about their thoughts. Think about the things that they struggle with and build out that person. Once you've built out that person, you can then create content for them, right? And so when you create content for them and you put that together with sharing your brand story, you are doing, honestly, like the magic combo, magic quote unquote combo, to actually attract your audience and convert them with your content, right? So that's why with tip number 4, I want to say share your brand story and make sure that it converges with your audience's lifestyle when it comes to social media. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that if I have, let's use skincare again. If my skincare product is meant to clear up acne and dark spots and things like that, and I know that my target audience are new moms, because sometimes with childbirth, your skin gets messed up and all that stuff, then I know that I can create content that's centered around new moms, centered around self-care for new moms, giving new moms self-care tips. I can share different types of images and things like that of moms with their kids. I can get an influencer who is a mom to take pictures or do a video with my product, etc., right? And I'm connecting literally my brand story, because the reason I created this product or I decided to sell this particular product is because I myself went through childbirth and had, issues with my skin, right? And this is an example. I don't have kids, but I myself, went through and had these issues with my skin. And so I created this particular product or these particular products to solve that problem. And I built out my target audience, knowing that they have a certain lifestyle and also knowing what my brand stands for, because I know my problem and my solution, etc. And I'm able to literally blend the two to then create powerful content, right? And so when you do this, all the people who came to your page because of those cool Black Friday sale reels that you decided to post, or Black Friday sale TikToks that you decided to share, all the people who came to your page initially because you had such a great discount, they're going to stay because now you're creating content that actually makes sense to them and makes them want to be a part of your community, and then makes them want to convert again for you, or convert period if they didn't convert the first time. Okay? And so Chelsea said, straight gems, can't wait to give credit when it's due. Thanks, Chelsea. Right. And so what questions do y'all have so far before I share the last tip? So we talked about nurturing with email and SMS campaigns. We talked about retargeting with ads and abandoned cart emails. We talked about putting your past purchasers on a special list and inviting them to VIP and secret sales. And then we also talked about creating content by using your brand story and your audience to create power content. What questions do y'all have before we get into the last tip? What question? Do you know how to sync Klaviyo and SMS Bump? You're not going to be able to sync the two. You're going to have to use Zapier as a third-party app to be able to, if you're, let's say you're trying to create like a certain email series, but in that email series, you want a text message to go off as well. You're going to have to literally blend it with Zapier, because remember, Klaviyo has their own SMS built in. So they're not really going to make it easy for you to connect to an external SMS provider. So your best bet is to compare the cost of Klaviyo SMS and SMS Bump and see which one is actually better for your buck, because it may just, even if Klaviyo is a little bit more than SMS Bump, it may be worth saving the headache to just cut off SMS Bump and use Klaviyo SMS because you're already using it for emails. Josephine said, is Klaviyo free or is it a cost? So the link in my description box will give you a free trial for a certain amount of time. So if you want to get the free trial, click the link in my description box. With Klaviyo, there is a free time period based on the amount of subscribers that you have. However, once you surpass that certain amount, then it's not free anymore. And it's important for you to keep in mind that in business, you're going to have to invest to actually get a result. Like everything isn't free, right? And so with email, if you know that you're going to be able to send emails to generate revenue, think about it that way. So if you're spending $35 on an email marketing platform, who cares? Because you're making $500, $1,000, $5,000 in sales for that month. $35 is nothing, right? And so it's important for you to acknowledge that at the beginning, because you have to make certain investments to get you to that point. So for me, y'all would scream if you saw how many platforms and softwares that I actually pay for, which I've been trying to cut down, but I just can't, because either me or a member of my team needs it, or we need it as a whole, or whatever. I pay for so many platforms and stuff that it absolutely, and the cost that I pay. So for example, Klaviyo charges based on your email list size. For me on Klaviyo, just know that I am in the high hundreds of dollars a month because of the amount of people that's on my email list, right? And so consider yourself lucky right now that you don't have a large email list, but just know that as you grow, the investments don't stop. It starts now, it doesn't stop, okay? Josephine says, makes sense. Good. All right, so let's get into the last tip, and then I'm going to open it up for like a brief Q&A before I go eat my dinner, even though it's 10:42. But the last tip is to treat Black Friday and Cyber Monday as like a research project, okay? So what I mean by that is there's certain data that you should have collected from Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And if you didn't, you need to go back and collect it right now. Pay attention to it and treat it as a research project is because over the weekend, whether it was a bunch of items sold out of a particular product, or maybe people requesting an item that been sold out for months, or whatever the case may be, if you realize a certain trend, even if you realize that a certain strategy you did worked for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the data backs it up, then replicate that. Because although Black Friday and Cyber Monday is once a year, it doesn't mean that your customers only buy once a year. It doesn't mean that you should wait Friday and Cyber Monday to have your only sale of the year. You're the business owner, so you very much can have a sale whenever you feel like. You can have a sale every month if you wanted to. Would I recommend it? It depends. But you can literally have a sale whenever it is you want. There's so many other holidays, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, all of these other holidays. Black Friday, Cyber Monday isn't the only holiday, and therefore it doesn't make sense to treat your sale as if it can only happen once a year. You can have sales multiple times a year. And so if something worked for you for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, if you sent out a certain amount of emails and you realized that that helped you increase your sales, if you sent out a certain amount of text message, if you posted a certain amount of times or a certain type of content, and you realize that the data backs it up to show you that it performed very well, then you probably want to replicate that. Okay. One of the things that I'm big on is data. Like, I'm big on branding and data and using the two to create magic, right? And so the numbers never lie. If your numbers said that something worth over Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend, believe the numbers and understand what it was that you did, analyze those numbers to understand what it is that you did, and then replicate that. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Because one of the mistakes that I see business owners make is they go so hard when it comes to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but that's the only time out the year that they go hard. They don't go hard no other time of year. Like, they chill or they cruise. But when it comes to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, they're making the most effort to put out the most content. They're making the most effort to send the most emails. They're making the most effort to make sure that their website is up to par. It looks good. It's functionable. It's all of this. They're making the most effort to do all this stuff. But then once it's over, it's like a snooze fest. And then they wonder why they're not making consistent sales. Like, you're not making consistent sales because you're not applying consistent pressure. So the same pressure you apply for Black Friday, Cyber Monday is the same pressure you need to apply. You need to apply year round, right? Take that same pressure and apply it literally year round so that you can make that money consistently, okay? So the reason why you hear about businesses making 10K consistently every single month is because they're applying a certain amount of pressure. And honestly, like, I talk about this a little bit before and a little bit in my insights video when I shared insights on Instagram and things like that. But honestly, I use data to my advantage all the time. So the reason why my businesses have been able to see a certain amount of money consistently, and not only see a certain amount of money, but scale to a certain amount of money, the reason I was able to literally sit down at the end of 2020 and say, hey, next year, I want to be making 6 figures in a quarter. And I was able to actually go ahead and do that consistently. You know what I'm saying? Quarter after quarter, was because I paid attention to what I was doing and what was working and what wasn't working. I also made sure that my brand's foundation was solid. So knowing my problem, my solution, my audience, their lifestyle, all of that, I been knew that, right? And I made sure that I kept that consistent throughout. But then I paid attention to what was working for me and what wasn't working for me based on the data. And I did more of what was working for me, less of what wasn't working, and literally just hit my foot, like put my foot on the pedal and kept going. And so when I lack, so last quarter we ended up taking a dip, I know exactly what happened because I pay so much attention to the data that I can connect the dots. And I pay so much attention to, what happens when we put out certain content, if we put out certain content, if I was missing, right? So if I go ghost and I see an effect of that, I know exactly what happened. If something happens internally with my team and there's an effect on our revenue or, the rate at which our list grows or whatever the case may be, I know exactly what happens because I pay so much attention to my data. And also I know what my brand's foundation looks like. And I know what it looks like when it's executed to a high potential, right? So Josephine said, keep that same energy year round. Exactly. So any last minute questions that you want to ask either about getting sales, your target audience, your brand as a whole, anything like that, content or anything, ask me any questions you have. I'll stay on here for like 3 more minutes. Wait, that's an odd number. I'll stay on here for 5 more minutes to answer any questions you may have. If you're interested in diving deeper into like brand foundation and building that out. So that means if you're having trouble identifying your target audience, if you're in the pre-launch stage and you want a launch marketing strategy, you want to partner with me so that we can brainstorm a launch marketing strategy for you. If you need help with hashing out your problem and solution and your brand values, then you definitely want to go ahead and book a strategy session for that brand foundation area. And then if you are already launched, right, and you're struggling with making sales, maybe you're having a hard time attracting your audience, you're having a hard time creating content for social media, even if it's for email. You definitely want to book a strategy session with me as well, and book the brand marketing area, because in that session, I share my content conversion system with you. I also talk about how to strategically attract your audience. And we even talk about some marketing strategies that you can use to actually grow your business, right? And it's based on your particular business. It's not cookie cutter. We talk about your particular struggles, your particular audience, your particular brand, and how to market that. And then if you've already been in business for a year and then some, or you want to learn how to make decisions based off of your data, how to replicate something that has already worked for you. So maybe you made $1,000 a couple of months, or 5,000 a couple of months, and you want to know, okay, Chanel, how can I make this 5,000 turn into 10,000? Then you definitely want to book a strategy session with me, and then book the brand area that says brand scaling, because in that session, we talk all about data, how to read your analytics on your website, how to understand Instagram insights, how to make decisions on what's working and what's not working. So that way you can do more of what's working in your business to get a greater result. Okay. So definitely check that out. The link to the strategy session is in my description box. I came on here real late because I didn't want this day to go by, and I wanted to drop these tips on y'all. So make sure that you check out the link in the description box, and the link for Klaviyo is also down there as well. Shakira said, how do you get more people to subscribe to your website? So are you talking about to your email list as a pop-up on your website? Because people can't subscribe to your website. People can subscribe to your email list. So if you have a pop-up on your website and you want people to subscribe to that, the same thing applies. You're going to have to create a certain type of content to attract your audience to get them to actually subscribe to your email list. And then Aqua said, how do you create a brand story? So your brand story is all about using your PS analysis, which is your problem and solution analysis, and then identifying how you uniquely solve that particular problem, and then developing PMV statements, which are purpose, mission, and values. And through that, and through your unique experiences that you experience firsthand, secondhand, or not at all, through research maybe, then you put together a story. So your brand story is a combination of all that. It's a combination of your PMV statements, your PS analysis, and also whatever experiences you or someone else experienced that you realized, and putting that into a story. Okay. Josephine said, how can I book you? Because I definitely want to keep that same energy. So Josephine, it should be the first link in my description box. It says book a strategy session. And as a heads up, I wasn't doing one-on-ones literally all year. I stopped them back in February. And so I brought it back because a lot of people kept asking me for them. I brought it back only until the end of December. So there's already only like maybe 9 days left on the calendar. So if you're interested in booking a strategy session with me, go ahead and look and book now. There's an option to just pay a deposit and then pay the rest the day of your session. So book it now. Don't wait, because I'm literally not adding any more days. I have a wedding that's next year. I already am like crushed for time. So the days that are there are the days that will be there. So if you're interested in working with me one-on-one to strategize for your brand and to help you grow your business, don't hesitate. Go ahead and click that link. Okay. Suzette, you're welcome. Thank you. I look forward to meeting you if you book a session. You're welcome, Shakira. Hey, Made in Design Slay. Hey. All right, y'all. So I'm hitting the 40-minute mark. I'm about to log off because I don't want it to be that long. Thank y'all for joining me. I'm going to make sure I try to do more lives. But like I said, if you want to talk to me one-on-one about your brand, go ahead and book a strategy session, and I'll talk to you there one-on-one. All right. Have a good night. Bye, y'all.